Welcome to It's a Crime. My name is Linda, and today we're going to be talking about missing mom Heidi Broussard and her little newborn baby, Margot Carey. Stay tuned. So I'm going to go through what we know so far, or what I know so far. Heidi is 33 years old. She's 5'3", 150 pounds. At the time they went missing, little Margot was only 2 weeks old. They were last seen at 7:50 a.m. at the elementary school where her son Silas goes. Now, before I go into the timeline, I want to just make this note, and I haven't heard it anywhere on the news yet. Heidi isn't just a woman that is missing. She is a woman who is postpartum that is missing, as well as the little baby. Now, why I bring that up is for a couple of reasons. When you're postpartum and only 2 weeks, things are happening still to your body, and you're recovering from birth. So something that's of importance, let's just say they were looking into, did she actually leave on her own accord? Well, she would have to go to a store at some time, because when you're postpartum, you're bleeding. Every woman is different, whether you're 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 6 weeks, but you're bleeding. So she would have to go to a store or figure out something, right? The other thing is, they did say that she was carrying her baby in the car seat, which of course a newborn you typically do because you have the little click car seats, right? They just go in and out. If you had a baby with a C-section, you're typically not allowed to lift up the baby. You're not supposed to. So that's my guess, she didn't have a C-section. And why that's important is, well, every little detail is important, right? And the other thing is she nursing the baby? Or was she using formula? Again, if it's formula, she would have to go out and get formula. So hopefully that she's out there somewhere and this is just that easy, although I don't think it's that easy. So I wanted to get that out there because nobody's really mentioning it. Sure, they're saying a baby and her mother's missing, but you are in a very delicate time right after you have a baby. All right, moving on. Heidi goes and leaves the house. She makes some sandwiches. She leaves the house, goes to the school, drops off her son Silas, and then goes to a book fair. Once she's done the book fair where she got 3 books, and I'd actually be interested in knowing what the title of the books is, because this could play a role, it could not play a role. So she goes to the book fair, buys these 3 books, gets on the phone and calls her fiance Shane and says, hey, I got 3 books. Can't wait to read them to Silas, and they cost $25. That was around 8 a.m. that she made the phone call. So then she goes home after that, or we think she's gone home after that, right after that. We don't really know the timeline yet. But her fiance Shane comes home by around 2 p.m. This is what he says. He says the front door's already open and everything's there except her phone. There's no phone and it's turned off. Then Shane gets a phone call at 6 p.m. from the elementary school saying, Silas hasn't been picked up yet. Can you come pick him up? So then Shane goes back, picks up Silas, and then calls the cops at around 7:30. And it's important to note, people who know her already say, even Shane says, she wouldn't do this. It's out of character. She wouldn't leave her son alone. I believe the crucial part of this is she is a postpartum mom. And her baby, who's 2-3 weeks old, would need care 24/7, every couple hours hungry. So I feel like these are the little things that we really need to know. I mean, if she did leave, let's say theory 1, she did leave, she would have to go and get supplies sometime. If she was taken, well, depending on the circumstances, I really do think the important thing is obviously to focus on Heidi. What happened? The door's already open. Did somebody come to the door? Did somebody knock at the door? Did she answer? Does she know them? Was she going for a ride with somebody? One of the things I found super interesting is I saw one of the YouTubers, Braun Moxley, I believe his name is, and he was saying that a guy reached out and emailed him, and they have a couple back and forths together, and he was telling him this story about how he knows Heidi, how they have a past, etc., etc. Now, the weird thing is, and everybody's kind of thinking this, is like, Why is he contacting a YouTuber? Not necessarily Braun, because, I mean, it could be anybody, but why is he contacting a YouTuber and not going to the cops, right? Natural question. Or is there something more to this guy that he's following the story and following what's going on? Maybe I watched too many movies. My thoughts when I first saw Carey get an interview, this was yesterday. Well, the interview wasn't yesterday, this is when I saw it. The first thought I thought was, oh no, Chris Watts. But as I kept watching, I was giving the benefit of the doubt. I had seen a story on JonBenet Ramsey maybe a couple weeks ago, and Dr. Phil was actually backing up the brother about his behavior because he finally did an interview after 20 years and he was super smiling, and Dr. Phil was like, no, you guys got it wrong, like he's not involved. This is just a nervousness. Now, when I first saw Chris Watts before, I knew shadow of a doubt. I was like, guilty. This one I'm a little torn at, and I know might be a lot of comments about this. My first initial, as soon as I saw him doing the swaying, Chris Watts. But as I got to seeing him, okay, he was talking about a bit of emotion. He's talking about his family, and there's a little push and pull on that. These are only my thoughts and my opinions, so it's kind of hard to tell, obviously, at this point. I did snoop a little bit on their Facebook last night. I saw a couple things. I will put it in another video, but let's just focus back on Heidi, and I'm going to put some pictures up because here's the thing too. Women look so different all the time that it's good to know what she looks like without makeup on, what she looks like with makeup on. And the crazy thing also about having a baby is when you first have the baby, you can lose 20 pounds in the first couple weeks. So she may not even be 150 pounds anymore if she's still out there. And we are hoping that she is. So I'm going to put a few of these pictures so you can see the differences if she doesn't have makeup on, if she does have makeup on. I think that's a critical thing because we all can look different when we first wake up as to when we have our makeup on. One of the things that I find interesting, and I will be talking about this in another video, is Shane Carey's timeline. What's interesting to me, and I'll just put a little tidbit in here, is he talks about exactly what he does up until he sees them. But they're not talking about, maybe yet, what his timeline was when he first got home. So you got home at around 2 o'clock, then what? What did you do from 2 o'clock till 6 o'clock when you got the call? What did you do after you picked up Silas, came home, and then did you feed him dinner? And then from there, when did you decide to go to the cops? At 7:30? Why from 6 to 7:30? Like, if she's not answering her phone and that's out of character. But at the same time, we can judge things when really, if my husband wasn't available, I would think like, where the heck is he? What's going on? That's not like him. I don't know that I would be calling the cops just yet. I mean, I'm the type of person that when I go into labor, I don't even call an ambulance. Like, I would still think about, I mean, I know there's people that will call an ambulance when they have gut problems or that they had bad chili and it was coming out both ends. Trust me, that's actually a real story. And my husband is actually a paramedic. So I know that some people go for really minute things and some people actually legit have a 911. So I can see how maybe you might wait. The door was open. I would find that a little bit odd. You know, maybe he just ran across to get the mail or whatever. Or she did, but I'm saying if this happened to me. I mean, everything was in the house except for her phone. So does she carry it in her pocket? I mean, I know when I was postpartum, you don't even know most of the time what day it is because you're so much lack of sleep. However, I will say her picture when she was going to pick up or drop off her son, it was actually, she was fairly happy, but postpartum, you can go either way. You can go up and down. You can spill milk and literally cry over it. It just depends on the person. Your hormones go so crazy after you have a baby and you're on this high while you're pregnant, and then it just drops. Everything crashes in a minute the moment your baby's born. So things can happen there where she is going through some sort of postpartum depression. We just don't know. And I guess these are the things that the cops have to ask Shane and figure it out. So I really hope that she is found and Margot is found safe and brought home to the family, whatever the dynamic looks like, you know, brought home to at least her little boy, and we'll figure out. I don't want to condemn Shane right away. There is some sketchy things, but there is not some sketchy things. So that's my thoughts. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Be sure to hit the subscribe button. I am a brand new channel, but I am super passionate about helping people and finding the truth. And I'm hoping we can all work together and help fill in the blanks somehow, some way, or hypothesize, or whatever we need to do to get these beautiful people home. Thank you so much for watching. See you soon.